Yes. Let's just rip the band-aid off and address the elephant in the room. I tried to dye my hair, not this color. I'm clearly having an early midlife crisis, and I wanted to get this kind of like gunmetal-y hair dye thing, and it's turned into like a goldeny. I mean, Club World Cup winners gold. No, I'm not doing my own peculiar campaign for Chelsea to sign Alejandro Garnacho. Viva Garnacho. Oh my god. Anyway, look, I'm gonna try and have another crack at it. It's meant to be like a metally silver. It's not. It's like a rusty knockoff gold, but that's fine. Yeah, you know. I was gonna wear a hat until I hit it again, but I have no secrets. You guys know me. So welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. And we are going to talk about Chelsea, not my hair. We are going to talk about, we've signed Jorrel Hato. That's quite fun. Tyreek George, permanent sale. What's going on with Javi Simmons? Of course, Estêvão Willian is teaming up with the Chelsea boys this week. That is exciting. So we're going to get into that a little bit as well. Very, very fun indeed. And yeah, man, and maybe some Garnacho, seeing as I've got yellow hair. I don't even know what colour it is. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Apologies for shocking you. Strap yourselves in. Thank you, as always, for continuing to support the content. Road to 200,000 subscribers. So, yeah, be part of it. Why not be part of the gang? Thanks for liking and subscribing. Let's get into it. Okay, so we've signed the boy. Half of Double Dutch complete. Jorrel Hato, he's done an interview with La Chelsea. There he is. With the I mean, to be fair, that World Champions badge, it's pretty similar to what's on the dome piece right now. So he has done an interview. And we're going to go for it, see what I want, because he's a great player. It is genuinely a great signing. The more I've looked into it, the more I've learned about the player. It's good. Speaking for the first time as a Chelsea player, our new defender, Jorrel Hato, and I think it's Jorrel. Like Yannick, some people spell it with a J. I spell it with a Y. He explains why he knew it was the right time to take this step in his career, and he's reflected on his rise at Ajax. He's only 19 as well. He's very young. As Hato walks around Cobham on his first visit to the training ground to complete a move from Ajax to Chelsea, it's clear there is a maturity here, which belies the fact he's only 19. We want maturity, and apparently we just want young players. Of course, there is excitement to see his new surroundings, but also a calmness that suggests this is someone who takes everything in his stride. Hey, he's Dutch, man. He's chill. That is a trait with no doubt that will come in useful as he adapts to the fact that he is a visitor, no visitor to anymore. He is no visitor anymore. Cobham is his new home. Right, fine. However, after spending the majority of his career to this point with Ajax, his homeland in the Netherlands, the move to Chelsea is not a decision he took lightly. During the break from filming and photography, he pulls on the new Blues kit for the first time, and the defender talks to us through that carefully considered decision, explaining why he became certain a move to the West London was the right choice, and providing further evidence that he's got a wise head and shoulders. You've joined Chelsea. That's a wise move. Here he is, putting on the shirt, looking down at that badge. It feels strange to leave everybody in Holland, of course, but for me, it's a new journey with people in a new culture, a new team, new competitions, smiles Hato, with an occasional glance down at the Chelsea shirt with the golden world champion. Oop, you can't see it. Crest on the chest. I should have just led with that. That's why I've dyed my hair the colour of the badge. / more gingery. I was really thinking about my future, and that's what I wanted. I think I will be a good fit for the way Chelsea are playing. I really hope so, mate. So I was sure about taking my next step to Chelsea. Beautiful stuff indeed. For sure, it was a big decision. I played 7 years at Ajax, and for me it was home, the people, the players, the coaches, the culture. So it was not easy to leave. But my feeling was, at this moment, I needed to take the step to the biggest club in the biggest competitions. Hey, that's us. And for me it was the right decision at the right time. Perhaps it should be no surprise to discover that Hato is someone who thinks carefully about his choices to make certain it's the right one, showing plenty of maturity for a teenager. After all, we are all talking about the youngest player to ever captain Ajax in a European fixture. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Doing so at just 17, no small feat for a club. It's 17 at captain. They do give it to young players, of course. They gave it to De Ligt when he was a 19-year-old. They were playing in like Champions League semi-finals with a 19-year-old captain. So they do that. Look, this is a bit of a background here. I'm not going to go through it all. He seems very happy. It's him signing the contract, smiling. I mean, if you really want, I've done plenty of videos on Jorrel Hato. He looks incredibly appropriate for high-octane Premier League football. Sprints, athleticism, very, very good passing defender. Positionally versatile, centre-back and left-back, but it has since been confirmed that he will be playing left-back for Chelsea, being the Cucurella sort of backup competition. Although Cucurella has been so magnificent for the Chelsea, it would be very difficult to see him benching him. But yeah, there you go, the new boy's in, and it's a great signing. I thought I saw it as a priority signing because of the aforementioned Cucurella and how we've been overcooking him. Over Cucurella. No, I can't make that joke. But yeah, so it's an excellent signing. And it can also open up new tactical approaches from Maresca, who has been recently described as the master of rotation. Another one for the rotation. Right. Very exciting. Estêvão is in London. Been reported by Nazar Kinsella of the BBC. He's now essentially in pre-season with the Chelsea boys at Cobham. He's been having English lessons, but now they're going to ramp up quickly, obviously. We've got Portuguese speakers in our camp, although we've got less with certain Portuguese players like João Felix and Renato Veiga probably on the way out to follow. But, you know, Pedro Neto and João Pedro, and probably, I imagine he understands some Spanish. And the communication will be there. But he's a young lad. He's the first time he's leaving Brazil. He's done that interview on his social media. He can't wait to put the shirt on. And yeah, hopefully, because he did seem like there was understandably for a kid, there was a lot of anxiety moving to Chelsea, excitement, you know, the butterflies he described it as. But he's like, I don't know, I think because we've got a lot of, in football, there's loads of religious footballers, heavily religious, of course. His father's a pastor. And there's like a lot of religious players at Chelsea as well. So he'll feel, you know, welcomed, and I think he should integrate well. And yeah, I feel like Chelsea will do well at making him feel at home. Because they did that with Kendry Pires, didn't they? Loads of integration sessions, bringing him over. They're clearly very mindful about it. Hopefully they'll be the same with Estêvão. And look, we fortunately for Chelsea, we're not in a position where we're like, we need you to come in and do well straight away. We're like, no, we've got, you know, Pedro Neto is an automatic starter on the right. You know, we've got immense quality if we want to start Cole Palmer on the right. We've got other options on the left, you know, just come in and play, learn English, get comfortable, express yourself, and show what is that world-class talent. Right, so what's going on with the second half of the double Dutch then, boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen? Javi Simmons, well, I tell ya. Fabrizio Romano, Javi Simmons is starting to enter the moment where he says, okay, I've been waiting now for weeks. I've been waiting for weeks. I want this transfer to happen. That's the feeling. The player wants to go now. He's made it clear, again to Leipzig over the weekend, there is no chance to keep him in terms of extending his contract. Sell me now, sell me to Chelsea, it'll make a lot of money for me. He was also commenting on, you know, the announcement, social media posts of Hato, like my brother. Of course, they're both Dutch internationals, Netherlands internationals. And he removed RB Leipzig from his social media bio. He wants to move to Chelsea. He's essentially, really, I mean, he to me looks like upon closer inspection, like a Joao Pedro type of signing. And what I mean by that is he's not like the obvious profile, like Chelsea need a striker and a left winger, and they signed like a Joao Pedro, who's this kind of like auxiliary versatile attacker. And when you get like the big boy football tactician analysts look at it, they go, actually this guy's going to make Chelsea a lot better. People are saying the same thing about Javi Simmons. I referenced, is it Adam Cleary, the YouTube analyst? He said this could be the best of the bunch for Chelsea, Javi Simmons, in terms of how he, performs on the pitch and what he can do for Chelsea. So it'll be, although it's not been a priority signing, like purely on fear of Cucurella getting injured, I prioritised Hato. But Javi Simmons now, he can pop into that left pocket. I do wonder what it means for other players who've been occupying that role, like Lorenzo Fernandez is, and who's been amazing for Chelsea. Goals, assists, leadership, much needed leadership in a young team. So be very interesting to see how the master of rotation, Enzo Maresca, fits them all in. But yeah, it's at the point now where he, the player, is pushing. Look, the Premier League starts in a couple of weeks. It's like, yes, stop messing about now. I've been waiting for weeks. Leipzig, get it done. So that's hopefully what we're expecting this week. Right, let me just pull something up. Yes, Tyreek George. This is something I did want to speak about. Because it's kind of sad. Because the 19-year-old Chelsea winger is looking like he will go permanently. Which is real sad because everyone really likes him. The evil Saka meme, they even say it in training camp to him. He seems like a really good kid, really good winger on both sides. Obviously, Maresca tried playing him as a striker for a bit, purely probably because he's tall. Didn't work out at all. But he's a great player, but he deserves to start. What I've been saying about recently, loan, I'm totally fine with a loan because he deserves to start at a really high level. He probably understands he won't for Chelsea. And I don't think he demands it at Chelsea. We've just pulled him from the academy. He's had significant minutes. And he'd probably be very happy with last season. He won a trophy, got a medal, couple, you know what I mean? So he's not going to be annoyed with how things are going as a teenager at Chelsea. But he probably also sees the likes of Garnacho being linked and thinks, not that I don't have a future here, but if I leave Chelsea now, I can go somewhere, sign a 5-year senior deal and be a starter. And thank you very much, Chelsea. So this is what the briefing has been. Like, he loves Chelsea, but, he would be happy to sign a permanent elsewhere. And I've seen, to be honest, quite a sensible reaction from a lot of Chelsea fans on social media. A great deal of affection for the player, but a sort of maybe understanding, and maybe of course him and Joshua Champong both came through together. There's been an idea that Tyreek's been great, but Josh looks amazing. Champong, in terms of he's played right back for Maresca's Chelsea, he's played centre back for Maresca's Chelsea, he's played in the inside left hand pocket. He's been trusted to hold on, my freaking washing machine's going off, one sec. My friggin' washer dryer's broken, and every time it gets to the dryer cycle, it wants to explode. Yes, Tyreek George and Joshua Champong. Joshua Champong, we've heard so many times a man who goes, I'm in love with Josh. And, they all joke about it on the training pitch and stuff. I think he's really valued by Maresca in terms of Maresca's football. And I think out of the two, in terms of not selling on a permanent somewhere, Joshua Champong is probably one. Tyreek George has attracted interest from really high-level Champions League clubs. And I'm sorry, guys. It's a pure profit asset. The club gets terribly excited when they're available. And I feel like, if you sell him for 20 million, how much is he worth? Not loads, I don't think. 19-year-old, not a starter, sort of, a couple of really positive moments that have given him a bit of value. Nothing massive. And of course, the sort of Chelsea lensed romantic side would be, why would you sell, 20 million Tyreek George, a player we love, to buy a 40 million Garnacho, a player who we are very concerned about? And that's not a question for me, that's a question for the sporting directors. To be honest, because they call them the twins, Champong and Tyreek George, I was always very much leaning on the Achampong is the one out of the two, and because there is that sort of vulgar but very true element of pure profit, if you had to sell one, it probably for me would have been Tyreek George. I don't think there would be any bad feelings from, certainly from the player. I think he probably loved the last season, and it's platformed him perfectly to go and have a career, start a high level career before he's even turned 20. I think actually, guys, there's going to be a lot of this. And to be honest, genuinely, it's better we find a way to do it like this these days than do what we used to do in the previous regime with like your Jeremy Bogers, your Charlie Musondas. I know Musonda had injuries. He didn't he retire recently in his 20s? Like, do you know what I mean? And then like we loan them loads, we pay their wages, we keep extending them, and they just go a rotation on loans, and they have this never-ending story of weird career. If you can platform these teenagers and say, look, they're really good. Chelsea Academy, Cobham, amazing footballing finishing school. They're great. And then sell them for like, a significant pure profit fee and let them go and have their great careers. And then do it. And then you keep your freaking Levi Colwills, your Reece Jameses, your Josh Chiampongs. You keep an eye out and see, was Shin Mweka going to make it? Do you know what I mean? Like these kind of guys. And then you add the stuff in between. And of course, there is the Garnacho element here. Lots of Chelsea fans would be like, keep Tyreek George as your second choice left winger. And but by the way, Tyreek might not want that. Tyreek might think, Leipzig want me. They said they're going to start me. I'll go start for Leipzig, then play behind Jamie Gittins. And I think even the biggest Tyreek George truthers and believers would probably say, well, he's not going to start for us right now. Cole Palmer out of position on the left is an important player. He can have him and Pedro Neto and Joao Pedro behind you. Do you know what I mean? I don't think many Chelsea fans are clamouring for Tyreek George to start for Chelsea. And he might be like, thank you very much. These guys want to start me. Can I go, please? And then you bring in maybe someone like Alejandro Garnacho that will say, yeah, I don't need to start. Get me the F out of Man United, please. Please get me out. I'll just come and I'll sign your contract. I'll come to London. I'll play behind Jamie. Gittins will I'll play when you need me. And that's it. And I keep talking to loads of people about Garnacho. He's growing on some people, and Chelsea have done this briefing that they've done this big deep dive into his character, and they believe there's no issues in his off the pitch stuff, and that's why they want to go for him. He's prioritising Chelsea. The briefings from the agent and stuff. He's desperate to join Chelsea. He's liking social media posts about Chelsea. And I know it's not been in vogue. People are beginning to trust it a little bit more, but I kind of I'm beginning to trust the sporting directors. And if they're working closely with Maresca, who's doing very well for Chelsea now, you'd have to say, and we're in a good moment. We ended the season in a great moment, both in the, regulation season time and also Club World Cup. And if they're like, yeah, we know we've got that, we're doing good, and we've learnt what we need, and this is what we need, then yeah, let him cook, or let them cook, as it were. And then I'll kick them out of the kitchen when the kitchen's on fire. But for the moment, they seem to have put out the kitchen fire, and it smells like something très délicieux they're cooking in there. So if it's £40 million, obviously they want it 70 million. If it's 40 million for Garnacho, and if he's clearly desperate to come, then fine. What do you think? Eh? Let me know. Comment down below. Thank you as always for joining me, for supporting the content, for liking and subscribing. A little gentle, soft, and sensual reminder to go check out the second channel. This one, Football Yannick. It's daily content as well. You might like it. Non-Chelsea's footballing stories. I'm very close to 20,000 subs. I'm over 19,000. I'm over 19.1 thousand. So help me get to 20, friends. All right, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the football, and if any stories pop, I'll be here. So, yeah, peace.